Right then, welcome back to the channel. My name is Stephen Howson, and today I wanted to talk a little bit about Raphael Varane. High expectation when he joined. Don't quite think he's hit that height. Let's get into it. At number one then, he's been injury prone. United have played 40 games this season, and Raphael Varane's suited up in 24 of them. It's just absolutely not good enough. He's been injured on 5 different occasions. He's had a hamstring injury twice, a groin injury twice, and a stomach illness / COVID. I expected a bit more from him in that sense. The best ability is availability, and that perhaps is one of the reasons why Harry Maguire keeps getting picked, because he's generally bulletproof, at least in terms of his ability to turn up. And I think the injuries and the fact he's only featured in half of the games for United has really, made his struggle finding a rhythm. At number 2, he's been underwhelming. He's not been the almost Rio Ferdinand level sort of signing I expected him to be. And he's in that mould. He's in that really classy, quick, great reader of the game, great on the ball sort of mould. And that's exactly what I thought we was getting from him. That's what I'd saw in La Liga. I think he's found it tougher than he found it in La Liga. He hasn't consistently been great, although he has shown some flashes. Has he suffered from not having anything like a Sergio Ramos next to him? Maybe. I mean, in terms of leadership in the last decade or so, Sergio Ramos stands alone. And then, there must be a hell of a shock to the system trying to partner Harry Maguire or even Lindelof. But either way, he's underwhelmed. Number 3. Is he a victim of Maguire? Now, not to just completely hammer Maguire in this sense, but I had a really good chat yesterday with Anton Ferdinand. There's a video coming out soon. Check out for that. We were talking about Levi Colwill, the Chelsea defender that's on loan at Huddersfield. And we were talking about how playing alongside Colwill must be easy because he covers. And Anton spoke about how he struggled alongside various centre-halves until he partnered Gabidon. And he said because Gabidon had the pace to cover in and the communication to know when you needed to go tight or when you needed to cover, he looked better. He said, I was a better player because he was next to me. When you think about Raphael Varane, does he have the confidence to go in and make those absolute game-changing tackles when normally he would do if he had Ramos next to him, communicating to him, saying, hey, go on? That's what I'm hoping a better centre-half partnership could bring to Varane. That's what maybe Varane was hoping on. That didn't come. We've also lacked a defensive midfielder in front of him, someone that's a genuine scream. We've seen when Matic has played, the entire team looks better. There's no partnerships formed at centre-half at all, partially because of Maguire's form, partially because of Varane's injury proneness. And that's something that I think can be fixed. Do Maguire's deficiencies mean more is demanded of Varane? Is his workload 125% of what it was at Real Madrid now because he has to do more thinking and can't just play his own game? It could be a factor. Number 4, the window's closing. Varane right now is meant to be in his prime, and it feels like they're being wasted a little bit. He's 28, about to turn 29. Those injury-prone years don't tend to reverse. If you're injury-prone now, you're probably injury-prone until you call it a day. Very rarely do you see players improve on their injuries unless they do something ridiculous like go vegan. That seems to have an impact on that, and I'm not sure if it's just because they come in a little bit lighter, which maybe eases the joints, eases the ligaments and stuff. I'm not necessarily sure it's to do with the diet per se, more to do with the size of the load that they're carrying. He's always been an athletic centre half and relied on his athleticism, and we know when that starts to go, the decline can be stark and it can be steep. I would absolutely want Raphael Varane to be part of any 11 at United going forward. But you do have to worry whether or not he can be relied upon and whoever you partner with can be relied upon. And that's not a great basis for a centre-half partnership. And number 5, this hasn't been a digging out session. I've actually really enjoyed Raphael being here. And he's still class, still a class act. He's still the caliber of player that we need to be buying and keeping if we're going to return to being a title challenging side. He needs a good midfielder in front of him and a good partner alongside him to get the best out of him, 100%. Could this just be the year of adjustment for him? Could we really see a surge from him next season? Could we see someone that's settled and confident? The way it took Jadon Sancho 5 months or so to adjust, maybe it takes Varane 5 months of not being injured to adjust and to get back to it. He's probably looked our best defender this season when he's played. He's just not hit the heights that we all kind of expected him to hit. And the injury consistency is obviously a problem. I want to know what you'd mark him out of 10 for this season. From what you thought we were going to get in the summer, I think there's been a lot of disappointing performances. This is certainly not any way digging out Raphael Varane. Maguire has been a disappointment. De Gea has been a disappointment. I mean, I don't even know if there's any player who's not been a disappointment. Sancho, even though he's in great form now, it took a little bit of time to get there. I was probably a bit disappointed with that still. Rashford's been a disappointment. Ronaldo's been a disappointment. Like, literally not one single player that I was like, who do you even start for player of the year this year at United? What a horrible set of decisions you've got to make there. Anyway, you lot let me know in the comments. What are you giving him out of 10? And do you want him here next year? In a bit. Hey, thank you for watching the video. If you are new around these parts, then don't forget to subscribe. My channel is proudly supported by my community on Patreon. If you'd like to get a little bit of extra content, a Discord group, meetups, five-a-side games, weekly podcasts, behind the scenes, and even an occasional bit of transfer news as and when I get it, then for the price of a pint, you can show your appreciation for the content that we make and get some goodies for doing so as well. Check the link in the description or click the button right here. You'll also find all of my socials here too if you want to follow me on any of those platforms. Nice one.